What's up, dude?
My guy got a whole podcast.
I know, right? I got my own mic and I got my own headphones. I showered today for you.
What's up, bro?
I don't know what I'm doing here. You just said, "Hey."
I didn't. This is my first interview that I didn't give the questions.
Boom, Panis. Wait, this is an interview or like a what is this? The vlog
It's kind of like a podcast. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm trying to shed a new light on artists our age. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people think that I did an episode with Francine, and then I read the comments, and they were all saying, buti hindi sila katulad ng ibang mga artists. And I don't. For me, I think a lot of people are really smart in the industry, and they're not put in that light properly. So that's why I'm doing this, and yeah. Edward is honestly, guys, sa totoo lang, Edward is probably one of the purest, most humble people I know in the industry. And he does not get the credit that he deserves. So we're doing this today. I wanted to interview Edward.
Magkano ba utang mo, bro?
Pero, my questions today, bro, are just going to be about life and how you're doing and how everything's going.
Gee, man.
All right. So you ready?
I'm ready. For
okay,
you.
pinakaunang tanong.
Wow. Wait. Ano yung mas gusto mo? Tagalog or English?
Pwede mong i-Taglish. Ikaw bahala. Saan ka mas komportable? Okay.
Kasi sumikip kasi yung...
Okay. Pinakaunang question. Who are you? Introduce yourself. Exactly.
Oh, okay. Wait, like, yung who are you as in like just introduce yourself, or who are you is like
introduce yourself. What? No. Wala pa tayo dun eh. Just okay. Who are you? What you do, and yeah.
Hello everyone. I am Edward Barber. VJ Edward. I work for Mix. I'm an artist. Basically, yung same thing, Kyle. I work as an actor, as a host as well. And I'm also in the love team. I also have a friend.
I'm also in the love team.
Because I can relate to Kyle a lot. Since that's why we vibe. Because we were parang in the same mindset and same lifestyle. So.
Alright. How are you, bro? Kamusta ka? How are you mentally, physically, emotionally?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing alright. Doing the best that we all can. I mean, there's some things that, of course, we're not gonna talk about on, like, on screen.
Yeah.
A lot of those things you already know, but at the moment things are good. I actually came off of, and I've been speaking about this a lot recently with other people, like on different vlogs and different podcasts. Like I had one with my stylist. I made a vlog with them. And I talked about this. I had just recently we're not live. Are we live?
No.
Oh, okay. Just recently, actually, just earlier today, I taped the podcast with Claudia. Last week, I went on a 3-day fast. It was for spiritual reasons, of course, because of my faith to get closer to God. But I didn't watch any YouTube unless it was for work. No video games. Netflix only like an hour, 2 hours a day with my mom. And then of course I did fasting. I did like a liquid fast, so only like soup, water, yogurt, and then
how many days?
For 3 days, so 72 hours. And I made sure I did it the full 72, no like 5 hours before. I really got what I wanted though. I did the full 72. And like it was tough. First day pa lang, bro. I was struggling, but I really got closer to God through that, and I realized how much time I was spending online, like playing video games, playing Mobile Legends, like how much time I was watching videos, and like my screen time went down by like 62%, something like that.
Wow. So
I was like, how many hours a day I was spending on my phone. So I realized through that, like, man, I don't need social media to be able to deal with my emotions. I don't need video games to be able to deal with my emotions. Because like when you're fasting and you're not going on your cell phone, man, I was, reading again. I was figuring out how to be comfortable in my own skin. It was beautiful,
Mhm.
and I had a lot of realizations about it. So I'm doing good at the moment. How are you, palangin?
What's been keeping you going, bro?
Oof. Again, I want to make it too spiritual. But
It's fine, yeah. Actually,
it's-
okay, here. Guys, sa mga nanonood, hindi nyo lang alam, Edward is one of the most spiritual people I know, and that's why I love him so much. He helps me. He's honestly like my biggest connection to God at times. He's the one who's always helping me when I'm down. He's always like, yo, just talk to God, mga ganun. He's really good with that stuff. He's really good at talking now, and I really appreciate what he's doing.
Aw.
Ah. Okay.
Through the past, like, I don't know, how long is it? 6 months now in quarantine? No, half a year inside quarantine. It's been crazy. I've had a lot of down moments. I had a couple of highs. I mean, it's really been a blessing in disguise to take a step back from the busy lifestyle that we both know and know, love, and hate at the same time. Nakakapagod yun, man. And I know what's going through your heads. No one who's listening or watching knows, but I do. So, parang, it's tiring sometimes, and it's been keeping me going, especially since the beginning of quarantine. Has been just I've been doing a lot of soul work. The way I think, the way I feel, dealing with, because when life is going so fast, you don't have time to breathe. So when you have time to breathe, and I know a lot of people feel this, we all had time to deal with what's going on inside our minds and in our hearts. So when quarantine hit, no one wants to deal with their emotions.
Yeah,
so they drown it out in anything they can do. Video games. I don't know, if you're a basher, you bash more.
You bash more. Oh.
But you do whatever you can do in order to run away from what's going inside your heart. So, but I decided, I have a bunch of friends who have gone through stuff in the past, and I didn't go through anything nearly as much as they did. But they said, like, instead of running away from what's bothering you, run towards it, and it will shrink.
That's really good.
Yeah. So what's been keeping me busy has been, keeping me going, keeping me busy has been, really my faith, my through God, through prayer, through worship. But also, man, like, I'm not gonna walk out of here. I'm not gonna walk out of quarantine. I am with a new skill. Like, I got a lot better at hosting through Mix. Like, I grew a lot doing Mix. And our friendship grew. A bunch of other friendships grew, right? But I'm not gonna walk out here like with a great new amazing skill. Like, I learned French. I learned how to cook. A lot of people are coming.
Ganun ka productive, no? Ang dami na ganun.
I made sourdough. I started baking. Great, good for you. That's awesome. But I'm not walking out with any of those skills. I'm walking out with like a stronger core of who I am. And that sounds super like IG story, IG motivational.
Stronger core.
Stronger core. I'm walking out as a better person.
As a better man.
It's true, because like now, like, I realize what's important now, and I got closer to God. So therefore, amen. If God's with me, who can be against me? Taping.
Exactly. So, pinag-usapan na natin yung buhay mo, pero para sa'yo, gaano ka ba ka-kontento sa buhay mo ngayon?
Oh my God.
0 to 10. Oh, 1 to 10. 0 to 10. 1 to 10. 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. Gaano ka ba ka-kontento sa buhay mo? Ngayon,
Content. Para sa akin, content being, yung pagiging content.
Oo, yung pagiging...
Siguro mga 9. I'm gonna say 9. 10 is
high.
dangerous na. 10 is like
you're
like
at the best
perfect na
form.
buhay ko.
Yeah.
Which
Pero,
is
good.
medyo delikado din yun eh. Kasi pag 10 ka, feeling mo walang mas mataas pa sa 10. You feel
nga, yun din yung sinabi sa akin ni Kuya Gary V. He told me one day, we were performing for We Love OPM with in front of Kuya Gary V. Tapos sabi ni Bailey sa kanya, just like, oh, I'm so nervous. And then Kuya Gary was just like, no, that's good that you're nervous. Because if you're not nervous, you get too confident, or you're going over. You think you're the best. So yeah, that's also really good what you said. 10 is too high.
When you're like, para sa akin, content ako ngayon kasi parang you learn to be during the pandemic with the simple things in life. But also like where I am at the moment, I wouldn't say 10 because there's so much more that I wanna
Do in life.
so much more that I not just want to do but grow like as a person. I'm not the man that I want to be yet. I'm not the man of God, the man I am to my friends and family. I'm not that guy yet. I want to grow my heart, my mind, my soul, my body, to be better for those around me. And I'm not there yet, but I'm pretty happy with where I am. I didn't think I would ever get to this point. Like at the beginning of this year, man, I thought everything, and you know what happened at the beginning.
Yeah.
Everything that happened, I didn't know that. I didn't think I'd get here, and be at peace at where I am, at this point. So I mean, God's good, and He brought me here. So there's so much more I want to get to. So it's a 9, solid 9.
That's good. At least you're there, but you're not at the pinaka taas na point ng buhay mo kasi may malayo pa yung mararating. Wow. Pakis. What's something na misinterpret ng mga tao sa'yo? Like, what do people misunderstand about you the most? Like, a lot of people, I guess I'm gonna say, a lot of people know about what happened at the start of the year, but what is something you have to say about it?
So a lot of people might be thinking like, what happened at the beginning? At the beginning of this year, beginning of quarantine, actually, I started getting a lot of hate. I got a lot of bash,
and it did not make sense.
And a lot of it was just like completely false and wrong.
It was all complete. What's that word?
It was noise.
It was all assumptions. Yun. All assumptions that they all thought they could just make. It's kind of like cancel culture. Sa totoo lang, it's kind of like cancel culture. May sinabi yung isang tao tungkol sa taong to, tapos naniniwala lahat dahil sinabi niya.
I understand. And I'm not holding a grudge against everyone who is saying something right now, has said it in the past, and will say in the future. This sounds weird, but I mean, one of the hardest things I've had to learn to do is to forgive people, whether it be my sister or myself or whatever. So this might not help them, or you might not take it if you hate me for some reason. I mean, go ahead, do whatever you want to do. And because of this, parang forgiveness is not for the other people. The forgiveness is for you. Because if you hold it, man, it's harder. It hurts. It gets harder for you. So saying I forgive you and saying I'm sorry is not for the other person. It's for you. A lot of people misunderstand as there are quite a few things. When I talk so much about my faith, they're like, "Oh, that's toxic positivity." When I keep silent on social media, like throughout all the bashing, I was silent about it. And I was affected, honestly. I was like in the past, before quarantine, I can say every time I got bashed, no matter how hard I tried, there was always this part of me that was like, ang sakit naman. But for me, I mean, there's quite a few things, but a lot of people think that silence is an answer. Like if you're on social media, and for example, let's bring up an example. Billie Eilish. We all love Billie Eilish. We all know her music, but because a lot of people love her, they automatically hate her at the same time. And if she gets caught in a controversy, and Billie Eilish is that one person that, like, you know, she'll make statements, you know, she'll show she's a bigger person, but she'll also stay silent, right? Silence doesn't mean yes or no. Silence doesn't mean guilty or not. Silence means that I just didn't want to speak out. There's no point. It takes energy. And one of the things, and I'm gonna bring it back to spiritual because this is really something that stuck with me. I think it's Exodus 14:14. It's a part of the Bible. It says, "The Lord will fight for you. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." And so I was like, that was something. And believe it or not, this is something a lot of people say when you walk with God. anything that if you pray for something and it happens, it's just a coincidence. Coincidence lang yan, pare. Hindi naman totoo yan. It was not a coincidence because I had 3 people in my church tell it to me. One of my family members and 2 of my friends, all in the same day, and they don't talk to each other. They all said that same, in some shape or form, they said, just be still. Just be silent. Just sit still. That's the hardest thing to do when you're in pain or when you're angry. The hardest thing to do is just sit down.
Kasi
and
gusto
just be
mo
like,
ilabas
okay.
lahat eh.
Gusto mo ilabas lahat. Gusto mo magalit. Gusto mo mag-react. And I was so close to, man. I was like, man, all of this is not true, and it's just misinterpretations. About 99% of what's being said is just false. And then I actually got a call from someone who's in the industry, but he also goes to my church, and I love this. I don't want to bring him to the whole situation.
I think I know who it is naman, pero yeah.
I think you know who it is, but this guy calls me up through a common friend who also goes to my church. They were close, and he just wanted to check up on me and see how things were going, because a lot of people heard about what was being said.
Yeah.
And he just like said, I opened up and I said, man, I'm worried about other artists feeling, what they think about me, because I don't care what the Philippines says, but the people that I work with, the people that I look up to, artists that are older than me, and they're hearing these things. Like, I don't want to go to ASAP one day and they're to be like, oh, that's the guy.
The kid. That's the guy. Yeah.
Kid. And so he said, like, hey, don't worry about it, because God's gonna speak for you, and when He speaks for you, everyone's gonna shut up. And I don't know if that moment has come yet. I don't care, but from that point onwards, everything that was happening in my life, whether it be my work or the industry or Edward as an artist, and everything from my personal life to my public life, I handed completely over to God. That's when we hung out before. I was spouting so much, stuff about God, and I said this like 3 times. I think even today I had a couple of other stuff that I shot, and I said it there as well. It might always sound like, even to you, Kyle, and to everyone who's watching, it might sound like I'm trying to force Jesus down your throat. But if you knew how great it is, how peaceful, like the peace that you can get, the joy you can get from it, you'd be doing the same thing.
Yep.
And anyone who knows God, and walks with Him, knows that feeling. Like, I'm not trying to force you, but if it saved me from the dark place that I was in, like, everyone should have that. So
honestly, the way Edward talks about it, for me, it's never like pushing his religion into someone's throat or something like that. The way Edward and the way he does it, the way he tells me about it, I appreciate it so much, kasi he just gives it like an option. Kung ayaw mo, okay lang. Pero there's nothing wrong with trying it. That's the way he looks on it. Why not try it? If you're in a bad place, I got out of my bad place this way. Eto, try mo lang. Kung hindi gumagana sa'yo, you don't have to force it. But for me, it really works, so you can try it yourself. So that's how Edward does it, and I really appreciate the way he does it. Para sa mga bashers dyan na anong tawag doon? Toxic positivity. That's not true.
Yeah, I can't take credit though. That's the way God spoke to me, and I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not. I have to say, I'm not perfect in any case. I'm talking about a lot. These are all just my experiences. So if anyone thinks that I'm great now, no, I'm not. I make mistakes. I sin daily. Like, I always have problems and struggles and stuff. And there's this one quote, and this is where it gets real deep, from one of my favorite authors named C.S. Lewis. I don't know if you know C.S. Lewis, but he wrote the Chronicles of Narnia, right? Life with God is not immunity from difficulties, but peace in difficulties. So like, you're not, just because you walk with God doesn't mean you're not going to struggle. A lot of people think that, everything's going to be fine because God has my back. You're going to struggle. But in the middle of all those struggles and all of those difficulties, you're going to have peace. You're going to be able to think straight. You're going to be able to breathe easily. So yeah, I'm not perfect, but I walk daily with a perfect God. So I mean, I'm getting so spiritual. I said at the beginning of the episode, I'm not gonna get into this. But...
Okay lang yan. The questions are gonna get better later. But these are really good
Alright.
answers. Don't worry. What should I ask you that I didn't know enough to ask? Kumbaga, isang tanong na gusto mo talagang may magtanong sa'yo, but that you really want to answer. Some question that you really want to answer, but you've never been asked. Like, it never got to that point.
Damn.
That's a good question, right? Kasi ako, may mga ilang beses na ang dami ng babas sa akin. Tapos, I was never given the opportunity to open up that my backstory of it.
Right.
So, what's something for you? Di naman kailangan talagang binabash ka. Pwede naman gusto mo lang talagang sagutin yung tanong na to.
A lot of people saw a change in me the beginning of this, like within this year, from before the pandemic until this point. A lot of people came and said, "Ay, parang false preacher about my faith and all of that. Parang fake lahat yun. For image lang yun. For publicity lang." Because, you know, we know the Philippines. The Philippines is probably one of the most, you know, God is present in the Philippines. Everyone in some shape or form.
It's a very religious country. Very religious country.
Really religious country. And for better or for worse, a lot of people have their own opinions on God. So if someone starts speaking about it, they're like, "Uy, fake."
Uy, mali yan.
Or if it doesn't conform to what you believe, peke yun.
No.
A lot of people, and I guess the way I can answer that, I don't know if there's really a question. I guess the question itself would be, you know, what happened, what changed, something like that. Because I always want to share. Like when you have good news, right? You always want to tell people.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the good news of how my life changed. I want to share that. I'm happy I get to share that here. So that would be the question. But to summarize, basically the whole answer is, like over a week ago, I had a conversation with my mom, and I think it was like a Sunday, and it was late. It was like 1 a.m. And I was with my mom. She's like, "Oh, anak, anong oras na?" I was like, 1 a.m. 1 a.m. Mom. She's like, "Oh, wow, you're not stressed." And bro, like, you know me, I get stressed about everything, or I used to get stressed out about everything. Yeah. I would freak out, like full on panic mode, call up friends, "Oh, I don't know what to do." And she was surprised, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not stressed." And we started talking a little bit about God and how He's worked in my life, and I began to say, like, man, when is the other time that you've seen me this not happy but joyful, this at peace, this comforted, this calm, about life in general? And she's like, "I don't remember the last time I don't know if I've ever seen you like this before." So the question that I would love to talk about, and anytime anyone wants to talk to me about this, I'm game. Like, I'll always make time for this.
Mm-hmm.
Is about, if it was a bumper sticker, how God saved my life. If I could share with you how it happened, I would. I mean, I'll make time for that anytime. But that's it. And I promise that's gonna be the last, the last time I go to that. But it's true. It's true.
It's
like,
true though. There's nothing wrong with it.
I'm sure you can see it. I'm sure like Darren can see it. Leon.
We all do, to be honest. We all see. Honestly, this year has changed. No, at the start of the year, Edward really evolved to where he is right now. We love him for that. He's in a really good place right now. That's what we can say about Edward. He's in a really good place. What's the most important thing you've learned in your life? What was your life before learning it? And what was your life like after learning it?
I mean, there are a lot of things that I've learned and I've realized, and it's different to know something. You know, your parents are always going to give you like these, you know, love yourself, you know, unahin mo muna ang sarili mo. You know, all these like one-liner parent lines. And so there's so many pieces of advice and so many realizations that I've had. But it's different when you yourself understand it in your heart, not just because someone tells you, but because you've experienced it. And it comes with age, but it also comes with maturity. And one of the things that I learned was, oh man, I don't want to. Anyway, truly was walking with God, man. I can't not bring it out because the reason why I say this is because everything from the change in my attitude, the change in the way I saw myself. I had a lot of insecurity before. The way that I saw friendships and relationships and relationships with my bosses, my mother, the people around me, it all changed. The way I treated my life and who I am changed because of that. So, kumbaga, there's so many things I could go to, so many things I could point out, but it's all under the same umbrella of, hey, I met God and He saved my life. And it's as simple as that. It changed everything. Because parang He says that in one part of the Bible, Galatians 4:7, He said, you are no longer a slave, but as a son. And if a son, then an heir through Christ. So God is in that. That's my life verse. It's my favorite one. So He says, you are no longer a slave to what's going on around you, to money, to the opinions of others. You are no longer a slave. So you're no longer controlled by that, but you're as my son. And if you're my son and I'm your father, I'm giving you everything I own, which is the whole world. So parang when you realize the sacrifice that He made and you have the realizations in your heart, nothing compares. And my life before was, the only word to describe it was toxic. Poisonous. I would get so stuck in my emotions and stuck in my head that it was really just painful and dark. Super ganon. And accelerated yun, guys. A lot of people say na, oh, OA. No, accelerated yun pag nasa industriya ka. Boom. Di nyo alam yun.
Boom.
There are a lot of people who grew up in the industry. And Darren, Kyle and I, parang, when did you start, bro? What age?
12?
12?
11?
See,
Darren started at 12 too.
I started at 16. So parang, we're still in the same generation, still in the same age group. And when you grow up, you have to grow up quickly. Like you're 16,
that's what
you
I
have to think
actually,
like you're 19.
I talked about that with Darren in the podcast that we did. We were talking about how yung mga bata sa industriya, we all mature really quick. And it's because of the people that we're surrounded by. Like I can talk to someone not 20 years old or above and they'll think that I'm 18 because of the things I talk about already.
Bro, why do you think we're friends?
Exactly.
you talk like you're the same age as me, so that's why we vibe. That's why I get along with Darren too, and even with Leon. So that's the reason. I get you, and that's fine. That's great, but you have to remember the emotional growth and the mental growth that you have to have. You're still not there, so sometimes you can be like, I realized I didn't want to get stuck in that, and I saw it. I don't want you to get stuck in that. You're not, but I never want you to have that phase where, parang, as a kuya, I never want to see my younger brothers go through that. Parang, you have to get to the point where you're so much older, like you're 20 years old. Kasi naranasan ko to. I was 19, 20 years old, and I still felt like I was 16 in my heart. Because when I came into the industry and you have to grow up so quickly, you left your emotional growth behind.
Whoa.
So,
whoa.
Yes, it's true.
Whoa.
So a lot of people, I don't want you to go through that. So, parang if I'm ahead of you in years, not maturity, but in years, and I see it coming, okay sa akin na I get hit first, and I tell you guys, and you don't get hit. Because you're not stupid. If I tell you it hurts, it hurts. You're not gonna be like, uy, try ko muna para maranasan ko at least. So, it's accelerated when you're in the industry, and it's accelerated in any situation where you have to grow up. So if you're a parent at the age of 17, for whatever reason, you're gonna have to grow up quick, and you're gonna be thinking the same mentality. But
Yep. But you're also gonna, at the end of it, you're gonna miss your teenage years, and just like what Edward said.
A deep conversation.
Deep conversation. All right, let's go to the last question. Because hey, this was actually really good. I like this one. I like this podcast. Instead of
okay. Edit this
a
out.
message for the bashers who have been bashing you since the start of the year and up till now, how about the people who have always had your back?
The people that have always had my back, that includes you, Kyle. That includes a bunch of other people. The people that called me up to check on me, people that messaged me, even the people that didn't, but the people that their opinions didn't change about me. You are one of the true, like the people that you group of people are probably one of the true treasures that I have in my life. To everyone who's been spouting stuff, I mean, hey, it's okay. I completely forgive you. I don't blame you. I've done it in the past. I mean, I also had a part of my life where I was doing that. I've told this story before. I'm not gonna go over it again. But I used to be a fan of a YouTuber. I bashed them before when I was like 14. So I understand that that feeling. So to everyone else, I completely forgive you, and there's no hard feelings. That's for me, not just for you. But to everyone else who stuck by me, a lot of them didn't even have to say much. Like, I don't think we ever really talked. I think we had one time where we talked, like Jedi, one time where we talked about it. And since then, we never really talked about, like, directly. We never talked about it.
Yeah, we were just there physically for you whenever you needed us. And I knew that you knew that.
That's what I love most about the group of people, whether it be the bros that we have, the family that we have, or the other people that had my back. It's definitely something. It's definitely something that in the moment, I was thanking God for every day. That I'll continue to do that, because it was a time where I found out, and through quarantine, a lot of people saw this. You find out who your real, not just friends, but family are. You find out who your brothers and sisters and your titos and titas, like your ates and kuyas. You find out who they are. Like, who's gonna leave your side when it gets hard. And I certainly found out. And to those people, both men and women, boys and girls, mahal na mahal ko kayo. And to all the fans, all the Mayward family, Solid Ed, Solid Maymay, you guys are the most, I have to say, they're probably some of the most craziest fans in the world. More than the fans of K-pop, K-pop stars or K-pop groups. Because regardless of what happens, they're there. And they're tweeting, and they're supporting, they're sending their love. And so you guys are completely crazy, and I love you for that. That's such an amazing blessing. So to everyone else, now getting to like sobby about it, super thank you. Because probably without you, I probably would have got through it. I'm not gonna lie, I do have God, and I have my faith. I could have got through it, but it would have been so much harder. So thank you for easing the pain a lot. Thank you for helping me get through it. Pakis, Kyle, kasi ikaw.
Pakis. Yun. That's it, bro. That's the podcast.
Right.
Anything you want to promote, or anything you want to say for the end of the video?
Please wear a mask. Please wear a mask. Don't be stupid. I can say this because I'm a little bit older. Please don't be tanga about COVID. It's dangerous. It's real. Protect yourself. Protect your family. If there's one thing I want everyone to take away from this, please keep on having hope and keep an eye out for what's around you, because it's really clear that it's up to us to take care of this country more than anyone else.
Yep.
So keep an eye out. Keep an eye out and be vigilant. And
right,
support Kyle's upcoming album. I've heard the songs, super fire. I'm like so proud. I've heard some of this. Like, imagine a more guapo, less tattooed Justin Bieber. Like,
what?
Ganda ng mga kanta, supportahan nyo. Alright, bro.
Alright, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Baby, what you wishing for?